Thank you, everyone. And we have the difficult job of conducting the post-lunch session after a very hearty lunch. So thank you all of us for joining. I would request my colleague Dipakshi to take the session forward. And we look forward to a very enthusiastic participation for the session, which keeps us going till late evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar and good morning, good afternoon, everyone, indeed. I, Dipakshi Saraswat, welcome all the eminent dignitaries on dais, special invitees, senior officials, distinguished delegates, respected members of press and media, ladies and gentlemen, to Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Samagam 2024, organized by Ministry of Education, Government of India. I am delighted to see so many of you here and look forward to an engaging thematic session on the role of higher education institutes in promoting STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and enhancing GER through Vidya Shakti. Before we dive into our exciting lineup of speakers, I would like to introduce the person who will be guiding us through the thematic session, that is our moderator for today, Professor V. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras. With a wealth of experience in science and technology, he brings a unique perspective and deep understanding of the topic. Professor Kamakoti led the research team that designed India's first indigenously developed microprocessor Shakti, which can be used in mobile computing devices and networking also. In today's session, Professor Kamakoti will be facilitating the discussion, ensuring that we explore all the critical aspects of the topic and helping us engage with our distinguished speakers. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Kamakoti sir. The panelists of the session include Shri P. Nagarajan, who will also be the keynote speaker for the session. Mr. Nagarajan has 32 years of experience in the software industry. He has spent his entire career in performance engineering, testing, and data analytics. Mr. Nagarajan is the managing trustee of Open Mentor Trust, which envisioned Vidya Shakti project along with IIT Madras. Welcome, sir. Now, on the panel, we also have Shri Himanshu Nagpal, sir, CDO Varanasi, presently posted as CDO Varanasi. He's a 2019 batch IS officer. Originally from Hisar, Haryana, Himanshu sir did his graduation from Hansraj College in BCom Honours. Since its very inception and thought of the Vidya Shakti, Mr. Himanshu has been connected with the project as the coordinating authority for implementation in the district, and under his leadership, the program has now been expanded to over 350 schools of the district. Welcome, sir. Now, we move on to Mr. Sri Rajendra Ekkaji, who is currently serving as South India Secretary, Ekal Grampton Foundation. Additionally, he serves as a director on the board of the Yashoda Foundation, a CSR wing of the Yashoda Hospital Group. After working as ERP consultant in US for 18 years, he returned to India for rural youth empowerment. Mr. Rajendra is actively associated with the Vidya Shakti program and has piloted a manual software testing program for graduate women in remote villages across 5 districts. And now we have Dr. R. Aruna working as lecturer CM AP Samagra Shiksha, basically a physical science teacher of Andhra Pradesh, working and implementing on various science curiosity methods to bring out innate talent, creativity, artistic and scientific temperament, and problem-solving abilities in students, making science learning more effective and joyful. Now we would like to begin the proceeding by requesting Mr. Gaurav Singh, Director, Ministry of Education, to do the honor of felicitating our guests, starting with our moderator, Kamakoti sir. May I request you to please welcome them with a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. Sir. Himanshu Nagpal sir, please accept our warmth and hospitality in form of this traditional Angavastra and the planter. Thank you, sir. Now welcoming Shri P. Nagarajan, sir, with the traditional Angavastra and the planter. Welcome, sir. We are honored to have you here. Dr. R. Aruna, ma'am, welcoming you to this session, hoping to get some enlightenment from your words. And now, Shri Rajendra Ekkaji. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Furthermore, now I'll also request Gaurav, sir, to extend a welcome note to our speakers to start the session. Thank you, sir.
Once again, thank you, Dipakshi, and I also welcome Secretary Higher Education, Shri Sanjay Murthy ji, who is part of the audience in this session, joined with Professor Anil Ses Buddhe, Chairman NETF, and Professor Dr. Kalsi, Chairman NCVET, and I welcome all the other guests who are who have joined for this session, and I believe we can get the session rolling, Prof, with you and with the permission of Secretary. Thank you.
So friends, a very good afternoon. I'm given the job of doing ALM, it's after lunch management, so we'll keep it as live and energetic as possible. Friends, let us start with some statistics. We are the youngest population in the world in the age group of 15 to 35. Majority of this population are in rural India. Statistics says around 60 to 75%. And we need to do the education right at this stage. And one of the measures of whether we are doing that properly or not is the gross enrollment ratio. Today we stand at a national average of around 27 to 29%. And NEP has rightly put it that we touch 50% by 2035. That means the number of kids who finishes their +2 school, their movement into higher education must touch 50%. How this is going to be possible? We had been quite working on this for quite some time. And one of the things that we really felt was that we need to touch at the grassroots level. We need to go to the places, we need to actually interact with the parents, mainly because beyond +2, lot of children actually go in for some sort of a casual labor. So the most important aspect was to go and motivate and talk about higher education to the parents and also the children, but on a continual basis. It cannot be once in say a month or once in a fortnight, but must be on a continual basis. When this was happening, COVID actually showed us the way. There were a lot of bad things that happened during COVID. There are some good things also, where many of these schools, even rural schools, had got some sort of a introduction to digital way of education, and we did tap this. So somewhere around October, there will be full statistics which will be presented during the keynote. But I must want to say only one thing. In February 2022, there was a call from a village. There were 3 girls who basically said that they don't have a biology teacher, but they want a career in biology. And so we arranged, but we had this rural interaction center, just as a TV, a Zoom, a camera and a Zoom connection, and people can interact. So we arranged a teacher who can teach biology in Tamil, and with just 1.5 months of training, all the 3 girls scored 91 out of 100, and they got into multiple biotech disciplines. So this is something which is phenomenal, where once we decide and when we, with full will, if we are going to democratize opportunity, I am sure that is the way we can look forward to touch this 50% GER. With this in mind, we have started this Vidya Shakti project, IIT Madras and Open Mentor and many other organizations today. A lot of CSR funding. We are going ahead. So we will now present some of this, and I have a illustrious set of people. What is so unique among them is they have all worked on the field. They have gone to the villages. Himanshu actually spends his, I think we can call him, though he's a CDO, I call him VDO, Vidya Shakti Development Officer of Varanasi. So is Madam Aruna and Rajinder. They have all gone to the field and actually seen the problems, and we have started refining those things. So this will be a session. So I request Nagarajan, who has been completely supporting and coordinating this, to have a 12-minute presentation, followed by 5 minutes each for certain remarks from the speakers, but we would like to have more conversation with you, more ideas. At the end, we would like many of you to join this basic effort and let us take it forward as a country's pride program. Thank you very much. With this, I invite Nagarajan to give the keynote address.
Thank you, Professor. My dear gurus on the stage and here, pranams. Swami Vivekananda says, if the poor boy cannot come to education, education must go to him. This is the driving force of Vidya Shakti. Why we are here? The unavailability of best teachers, both online and face-to-face. In fact, a lot of places do not have sufficient number of teachers, and weak fundamentals in the school education, coupled with many reasons. And what we have found out is a lot of mass migration of teachers to the nearby towns. Ye my gaon, this is my village, these are my people. That feeling, if that is not there fully, then the dedication goes for a task. Still, we need to achieve that 50% goal, at least by 2030. So only way we can do that is through technology intervention, thanks to NEP for entrusting that. So technology intervention in education, that's our main aim. We started with 5 villages in 2021, October, soon after COVID. Now we are present in 140 villages in Tamil Nadu, 354 in Varanasi, 10 in Arunachal Pradesh, totally 504 in Bharat, and another 16 in Sri Lanka. Thanks to DM sir and Himanshu ji for their relentless effort to get it done. As we speak, with their reference and their lot of surveys, we are now going to start another at least 500 in Mirzapur district, Sonbhadra district, and Badoi districts of Uttar Pradesh. If everything goes well, it will go well. By August 15th, we should be hitting that 1,000 mark in Vidya Shakti. A few impacts. This is directly benefiting to 60,000 online students, 504 RACs, and 530 jobs are created. That is more important because it's not only education, we have empowered a lot of rural women, and our digital Didis have been selected, and then they have been working as coordinators. Unemployed but well-educated rural women, they are the very big workforce, and we are able to get them as our coordinators. We use simulation and virtual labs to teach science, STEM, to promote STEM, because teaching is half, inspiring is rest. So we have to inspire the students. The same chalk piece and blackboard and duster may not work well. So we are using simulation and virtual labs. And then we trained 1,800 teachers in Varanasi district and 1,500 teachers in Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. And we have been continuously measuring because we cannot simply spray and pray. We have to keep on measuring. So we have done our baselining in July 23. Every week there is a micro assessment in math, science, and English also. We have calculated the average marks of about 13,000 students then we measure, every week we conducted by October 23, we measured, we could see 15 to 20% jump. And then we just started tightening the complexity of the questions, whether these people are able to sustain that mark in February 24, we could see that getting sustained. So that gives a lot more encouragement to us. What we exactly do, there's a centralized learning. The village may not be reached by road in many places, half a kilometer or 1 kilometer you may have to go by cycle or walk, but internet is reaching. So we put online teaching, we are using mother tongue as per NEP, and we are doing 5th grades to 12th grade now. And in fact, Rajendra ji is working with Akhil. They are having 1 lakh villages with their single teacher schools in Bharat. Now ji, we are going to start primary education also, because that is one of the most important things that has developed. A dedicated place, maybe a school extension or a school or Anganwadi, and a dedicated coordinator, digital Didi we call them, and we make sure we teach in slow pace, no rush to finish the syllabus by December. So the slow pace teaching with simulations, with virtual labs and micro assessment is giving a very good success rate so far, and that is why we are getting repeat from. This is one thing I want to show this video. We have taught a 2nd standard student about electric circuits, the power of virtual labs, what impact it can do. Voice. Voice. Voice नहीं आ रहा. Are you able to play now? Can I play now? No, the voice has to come over from there. Okay. So you can keep a microphone there. Hand mic there. You can keep it there. They can hear from there. So speaker is there. Just keep it next to that speaker. नीचे.
स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट को 7th स्टैंडर्ड सब्जेक्ट को सिखाया, वो भी आंसर भी कर. अभी उसको हम क्वेश्चंस पूछता हूँ. आपका नाम क्या है? संगीत कुमार सिंह. अंकित कुमार सिंह. ओके, गुड. नाउ इसका नाम क्या है? बैटरी है. इसका नाम क्या है? इसका नाम क्या है? चाबी.
Okay. I'll skip this. I'll just tell the story. As a 2nd standard student, we taught him electric circuits of 7th standard. He was able to pinpointedly answer every single question. That's the power of virtual labs. And thanks to Zoom and other online tools, in every village, in every center, we put a smart TV, connect through internet. Whichever is being used mostly for entertainment, we are diverting that to education. So, and a digital Didi in every village is making it possible. All the sessions are recorded, uploaded into YouTube. And again, in space, Ahmedabad, June 2022, Honorable Prime Minister Ji has talked about using TV Madhyam to reach every kid in every village. And with that in mind, we have continued. Previously, we used to put computers and projectors. Then we switched to the smart TVs. It worked much better in terms of logistics. In Kasi Tamil Sangamam 2.0 in December 2023, Prime Minister Ji has endorsed Vidya Shakti's program there. Okay. And our digital Didis, they have been recognized because we trained rural women, educated rural women in software testing and data entry through these rural interaction centers, and 5 of them have been selected, honored by Honorable Governor of Uttar Pradesh. And these are all some of the photos. What you see in the bottom is the virtual reality. Experiential lane or Anubhav labs, we call it. We use that to ensure that people get a 360-degree feeling. And these virtual reality lessons are becoming talk of the village on a daily basis. And this is one of the important things that we are using to promote electronic science, because computer science is one part. To inject electronic science, IIT Madras has given 2,500 kids to 250 schools and also trained 250 teachers, direct beneficiaries of 1 lakh students, 9 to 12 grades, because in this one kit, you can do almost 120 experiments, right from LEDs, 7-segment display to diodes to everything. If someone crosses these things, they will definitely be in a position to pursue higher education in electronics, because this one concept, India is already in the 5th place in top economy. The gap between in Bharat and other countries is now only 250 billion and 250 billion. This one industry itself can bring $1 trillion. So we have Shaktiman ji here, the person who created the Shakti processor. So with electronics, science and microprocessors, definitely we see Bharat is getting to 3rd economy very soon. And what we try to do with Vidya Shakti is keep inspiring the rural students and reach every single kid in every village. So this is our primary aim, both in computer science and electronics. And one more thing, in every one of our class, we talk about the Mahatva of Bharat, because science is fine, everything is fine, but character building is the ultimate key. So right from childhood, we teach about the Mahatva of Bharat in every class. That's Vidya Shakti. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
So now I invite Himanshu to give his remarks, especially what happened in Varanasi and what he's seeing as a positive change and what he would like to take forward. One very important question, why should higher education really bother about schools? This is one very, but please understand that the inputs to higher education actually comes from schools. There is no doubt about it. And today, to reach this SDG 4, equitable, quality, affordable, accessible education for all, I think technology will play a role, and this technology has to be developed and also experimented. For that, the role of higher education is also very, very important. And keeping all these things in mind, now this is a very, very nice interface between academia and government, and I request Himanshu to give his impression about Vidya Shakti.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, good afternoon to all the esteemed dignitaries present here. It's an honor to be here amongst you all and share our experiences. First of all, as if Nagarajan ji had shared how this project had come up and how its different facets and different implementation paths have been planned. I'll be sharing my experiences in how, because we have 354 schools where we have implemented this project in Varanasi. This program started with Kashi Tamil Sangamam. And since then, with Professor Kamakoti's intervention and his guidance, we have done multiple projects with IIT Madras's intervention in Varanasi, be it upskill program in higher education, digital Didi program, or Project Vidya Shakti as well. So, in the 354 schools, the experience that we have had, many of these schools do not have a dedicated science, maths or English teacher. First of all, it fills up that gap. It's a huge problem, especially in whole of Uttar Pradesh, as Nagarajan ji was mentioning, how this project will be scaled up to other neighboring districts of Varanasi also, be it Sonbhadra or Mirzapur. These, Sonbhadra itself has 500 schools where there's just one teacher teaching the whole school. So we can assess how much we have to first recognize that this is a problem. And how Vidya Shakti resolves that problem, then I'll be talking about it. The best, we have earlier attempted teaching through smart classrooms, teaching through VSAT technologies. But the unique thing about Vidya Shakti is how an IIT, an institution of eminence, has associated itself to it, and the perception that has created in the minds of parents and minds of community around. So recently, I had this experience where I went to a school in Mirza Murad. It's a Gram Panchayat in Varanasi, and there was this girl, Aarti. She had come with her mother and to that class, one of the Vidya Shakti's class, and I asked her, what do you want to become? Like she said, I want to become an engineer and I want to go to one of the IITs. So she was just a class 6 student. She knew about JEE, she knew about IIT, she knew about she knew about her ambitions that she wants to go there. And I asked her, like, आपको कैसे पता चला कि IIT में जाना है आपको? And then she said, like, जब IIT के teachers हमको पढ़ाते हैं, IIT के लोग हमको पढ़ाते हैं, तो क्यों हम IIT नहीं जा सकते? So that's the, and also in the mind of that mother. So that's the perception, that's the barrier that this, that used to exist, that this program has been able to break. That the divide amongst classes, that only students students from good private schools can reach to institutes of eminence as in IITs, NITs and other institutes. Now, these students have that confidence, their parents have that confidence. Yes, our kids can also learn, they can grow, they can be qualified to reach, to give these examinations and reach institutes of eminence. That's the barrier this program has been able to break. That's the best thing any program could have done. And also, a lot of confidence you could see, you could go to the students and talk to them, the confidence that they emit, it's huge. You could not see earlier a student talking so fluently, talking about resolving maths and science questions so in such a better way. Last year itself we had NAT assessment in our district. It's basically a Nippon assessment test that the government conducts throughout the state. Varanasi was placed at #1 position in the whole of the state in class 6, 7, 8. I believe Vidya Shakti is the intervention that was unique amongst all other districts that Varanasi especially had. And a lot of the share that this result had comes from the project Vidya Shakti. And also different sort of assessments that we keep on doing. As Nagarajan ji had shared the presentation, how much improvement in terms of the assessment results has come up, you all have seen, and it's not just the numbers, it's also, I'm sharing my own personal experience, first-hand feedback that I have had while interacting with the students in the classes. Also, when any institute of eminence, I personally believe when any institute of eminence, they do not just have a responsibility in the boundaries of their institute. They also have a social responsibility, which Professor Kamakoti has been doing, which has been contributing towards, even in an institute based out in Madras is working out in Varanasi, is working out in Sri Lanka. Then why can we not work out in other places? And why can not other institutes do the same and create the same impact? That's the question I think we all should ask ourselves, and we should work on it. And this would not just work for the betterment of the students based out in primary schools, based out in government schools. This would also, I believe, as I have recently come up to this service, just 8-9 years back, I was in my college. I believe we also used to look forward to opportunities where we could contribute to society, where we could reach out to society. It also would help in terms of our future opportunities, which we will, when we will go for our placements, when we will go for our further education. I believe when all these institutes would come forward to it, and the students based out in these institutes would be contributing to it, they would also have a better sense, better practical idea about how this problem, how poverty works, how they can reach out to the community, they can help eliminate these problems. This would this would help a lot also in their personal career advancement opportunities, and also in breaking the vicious cycle of poverty, that only students of a certain community, certain class, certain schools can reach out, can achieve those levels of grades that they can go to institutes of eminence. I believe such programs will work a lot in making sure that we are able to achieve the desired results of gross enrollment ratio, as Professor Kamakoti had rightly mentioned, which we have planned in our national education policy. Also, it will break those vicious cycles of poverty that UP government has another program, such programs. If I am not certain how many of you eminent guests would know that there are Atal Awas Vidyalayas that recently have come up in whole of Uttar Pradesh, where children of only labor class are enrolled in. Every year around 100 students of 6th to 8th get enrolled, and these are, every such school has been built at a cost of 800 crores. So it's a huge transformation that these schools are doing, and these schools are much better in place than many other private schools. And this is a similar impact that Project Vidya Shakti has been able to make, and I believe in future other institutes would also come up with such their own unique programs, and we would be expanding this program in other schools of Varanasi also. I was just having this discussion, how can we collaborate with private schools also, how can we collaborate with tuition centers also, where other students of slum areas, of not so good private schools can also have leverage these opportunities, and we can work towards bridging this divide and expanding it to further in other places also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Himanshu. Akhil has been a very important partner. One very interesting thing that Akhil did was that we went and trained some of the rural women on software testing, and that had become a very big hit. So as we now try to impart education for the children, it's also extremely important that we empower rural women. They must understand the importance of education and some livelihood that will essentially ensure that the family will run without sending the kid for a job at the end of 10th standard or 12th standard. That's extremely important. So rural women empowerment, we thought, is fundamental for us to get a good success on the Vidya Shakti. So I just request Rajendra ji to cover that aspect and a little bit on your impression about Vidya Shakti. Thank you. And also please introduce Akhil to the audience.
Namaste to all here. I represent Akhil Grahamothan Foundation as a South India Secretary here. Akhil Grahamothan Foundation is a part of Akhil Vidyalaya. And Akhil Grahamothan mission is to empower rural and tribal youth with some basic skills and all, in computers and all. So we have two concepts like IVD, Integrated Village Development. We have a cluster of 30 villages, we take it and then try to integrate and focus on the giving educational, like basic computer skills and all those things. Apart from this, we also have Akhil on wheels. We have converted a bus into a computer lab with 18-seater, full-fledged, and totally solar panel and battery operated, everything is there. It will go to the villages which are inaccessible, actually, which no one goes there. We take the bus to that places and then make sure those kids or those students are educated in computer basics over there. So through our IVD and EOW program, we have a reach to more than 250 villages. When I say villages, very rural villages, tribal areas, I'm talking about it. So through this, we have already trained about 5,000 students. And one interesting fact is, out of 5,000 students, 30% of them are 10th class students. Most of them were dropouts in the 9th and 10th class. But when our bus goes to the village, they are very eager to come in and sit on the computers, have a hands-on, trying to learn the typing, and also learn the paint shop. And we'll try to give them a funny thing first in the first 1 month, and then we'll slowly teach them the MS Word, Excel, and all those things. So they have shown a lot of interest. Though they were not going to schools, they were coming to the bus. They wanted to have further education in that way. So we have a good access to the schools in the areas, in deep villages. I request, sir, you can consider our IVD as one of the hub in the remote areas, because we have access to many schools over there in that way now. So by doing this small activity from our side, we could arrest it. From Vidya Shakti, by introducing a simulation software, training the teachers, giving them generic science and generic mathematics tuitions will definitely help people to encourage to go to the next level of schools, so we can arrest the dropouts in the colleges. The other aspect of it, as Sir said, the employability. When it comes to work from home, which is a very famous now, we only see the urban women or urban men will work from home for US and this. But there are so many graduates, women, educated, BCom, like a degree and postgraduate, by virtue of their marriage situations or the family way, they are a home, and they lost in touch with the IT skills and all those things for 4-5 years. It is this area where we wanted to encourage them to come back to the working field. So we piloted with Vidya Shakti, myself and Narajan, we piloted a batch to teach manual software testing training program to these women graduates. For the first, it was a 3-month program. The first month was very discouraging. They were not happy. They would say, I don't know English and all those things. But we have seen that second and third month, they are able to do the processes, they are able to test things, they are able to produce reports, they were talking about the testing process and all. So we have to continue with this. This is going to create the employability skills in that. We have to continue with software testing, as usually second batch or so, and then also data entry in different domains and data analysis basics. These kind of skills, and for who are a BCom, we can give a tally tool education. These kind of employability skills in the remote areas where generally other people will not reach. So that will help the graduates and young people from their areas to get encouraged to come for the next level of knowledge with that. And I think most of the points are covered by Himanshuji and Narajan in the Vidya Shakti. We will definitely work with them. Akhil will work deeply into the villages with all the Vidya Shakti programs and try to make it more successful. Thank you so much.
So, at that point of time when this training was going on, IIT Madras was given the responsibility of developing the site for Prime Minister Research Fellow. And that site actually was tested by these digital Didis. And I must tell you, very intricate bugs were found, which we settled. So that's the most important thing with just 1.5 months of training. So congratulations, and I think we should carry on it in a much more larger scale level. Now I have from Andhra Pradesh Samagam Shiksha, I have Dr. Aruna. So most important about, of course, introduction was given about Dr. Aruna, but she has actually spent quite a bit of time in trying to build in curiosity in science through different models, different project models. And I think that will be very, very important as we scale up Vidya Shakti, as we try to introduce more concepts, something at a JEE advanced level where we want to introduce chemistry, physics at that level and pitch it in a virtual mode. I think these models are going to play a very important role. Madam Aruna, please share your views on this.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Professor, Sir Kamakoti, sir, and Nagarajan, sir, and also Himanshu, sir, and that Ekalavya, yeah, that's what. So many NGOs and Kamakoti ji observed what he told, and also there are so many academicians and professor, eminent persons, and who are having so much of passion for the enrichment of education, and also the passion towards the rural youth and rural women. And also I observed so much of passion in you and on the stage also. Before going to, actually in this presentation, I am going to focus 3 more things. One is the STEM education and the GER. How to increase the sustainability of increment of GER through STEM education. And the second one, how to grab the resources from the higher education institutions or higher education students. These 2 points. And the third point, the foremost point, what I want to present you, what is the action plan, what are the strategies, simple strategies, without many economical burden. Just I want to present the third item. Okay, I came from Andhra Pradesh, from Samagam Shiksha. No? Just I want to introduce my organization, what we are doing in 1 minute. After that, I will come to our point. Just actually, what is STEM? Science and maths, and integrating science and maths with the technology and engineering, making children as a scientist or an entrepreneur. As a scientist also, he will prepare some sort of products which are useful for the society. Ultimately, he is also an entrepreneur, an indirect entrepreneur. That's the thing what we are observing. That means we have to take the consideration, access, equity, and the passion learning, passion towards the science learning, and also the project-based learning to get the useful products to meet the 21st century demands of the 21st century society. Okay, now I want to give a brief introduction of Samagam Shiksha of Andhra Pradesh. Actually, we are doing so many things. What in the morning session, our eminent guests, they already they had given so many, inaugurated so many things like that, blue book, something like that. Now, already we are implementing 10 bagless days and career course and the CWSN special needs children with the Chakshushmati Foundation and the career course of UNICEF also. And also the Rural Development Trust Anantapur, with the help of, we are doing so many apps for the special needs children and the bilingual textbooks and the Fruits magazine, exclusively the writings of the young children. And also the foundation literacy. In this we had established 31 model foundation schools, and as a hub and spoke model we connected some other foundation schools also. And also in this we actually Gnana Prakash and Gnana Jyoti, a 60-day training certification program and 120 days certification program for the Anganwadis and class 1 and class 2. In this we had trained 50,067 teachers for the Gnana Jyoti, and also 3,400 teachers in Gnana Prakash, and also the CBA test also we are going to introduce. Already we implemented as a pilot basis also. And also in this CBA we had taken what are the misconcepts that students are doing. Based on the misconcepts, what are the teaching strategies we have to follow. And also regarding the CPD, continuous professional development, actually we had taken the teacher identification needs. Based on needs, we had provided some need-based material, and we are implementing the teach tool. In the teach tool, we are assessing what are the caliber of what are the attitude of the teacher towards the teaching and everything. And based on that, we are giving some sort of guidebooks and lesson plan structure, lesson plans and everything. And likewise, we are doing so many also in the ATL also we are doing so many things. This is actually only 10 minutes time was allocated. No, that's what I'm restricting that. Now I am coming to the point what I'm going to give today. Just first of all, thank you for all of you. This is the aspects why I had given the statistics like this. Here you can see the fluctuations in the GRE. Why we are saying the fluctuations in GER? Why we are seeing the GR fluctuations? Because of, sir, already Kamakoti sir told about some teachers are not paying interest towards the teaching, enriched teaching learning transaction, and also some rural children, they are not having access, and some students, some teachers or students, lack of interest. Likewise, so many factors are there. Even though we are giving so much of infrastructure, everything, and teachers, everything, we are getting these type of fluctuations. And also the NEP, already we know what are the recommendations of NEP regarding our STEM education, already flexibility in curriculum, everything, integration of technology, experiential learning and critical thinking, everybody, we are all well known about these factors. Now, I am focusing, strictly focusing. Why I kept the honeybees? To grab the attention, your attention, I want to grab your attention. Here you can see there are 4 flowers are there, different types of flowers. In one, all I am telling, giving the science magic activities, student science kit and preparation of simple equipment, alternate experiments, equipment, something like that, and with the co-curricular and also the ICT. Actually, I want to say something. Actually, we interacted with the Vidya Shakti team in the ICT training only. They had given for the, at about 1800 teachers as the, for the state resource persons regarding the O labs and virtual labs, they had given the training in AP. So much of, really we got a nice impact. Already we made the impact analysis report also. And afterwards, with the help of Vidya Shakti team, we had given the training for 30,000 teachers of Andhra Pradesh in the district levels also. And we had given, already I will give in this PowerPoint only about the details also. After the 4th level, that is a research project, survey projects, giving solutions, experimentation. You can see here, all these are covered in that particular NAP 2020. That is objectives, and this is the key activities we have to conduct. Yes, we know. What we know how to, yes, we know we have to implement science magics, we have to implement experiments, experiential learning, so many big words we can use, but how to use? In the practical scenario, in the ground level, how to use? What is the action plan? What is the timeline? What will be the impact? We now in the situation of, first of all, we have to assess that one. First, for that, I am giving this one. Just I kept in a single slide the total action plan and everything. Attracting students towards the joyful learning. Okay, I will give you one example. If I came to that particular lunch, I don't want to take the lunch. If the lunch is very colorful, very attractive, immediately we shall go and eat. If that lunch is very tasty, definitely we shall eat. Afterwards, then whenever I used to come here, definitely I will go to the lunch, I will eat. After that, what are the dishes I tasted? I want to, actually I will go a restaurant and I will order the same dishes. Am I right? After that, after eating, I want to prepare myself in my home the same dishes. Then I will search the ingredients, what are the required for that particular dishes in my home. Okay, next step, I will purchase the ingredients from the shop and then I will prepare the dish. See, what are the steps it is going on. The same thing we are going to implement in STEM education for the sustainability of increment of GER. That's what I'm going to give, a particular plan. Actually, I myself implemented and I had assessed the impact analysis also. That's what I'm telling, the same action plan. First of all, the students, they used to lack of attendance, lack of interest. So many people, so many dropouts. So many students are becoming dropouts. first of all, we have to attract the students. First of all, we have to do the science magics or anything else, joyful learning techniques, clay modeling, anything else, which can be the attractive activities we have to perform. This is the first foremost thing we have to do, not the establishment of STEM labs, establishment of, sorry to say this, actually on the ground level reality I am telling, establishment of ATL labs, establishment of robotic labs, establishment of just training on coding, that is not the first criteria. First we have to grab the child to the school. That's what, yeah, okay sir, definitely I will sir. Attracting the joyful learning, this is the thing we have to do in the bridge course, and for that we have to do the preparation of repository of, we have to prepare the repository. And the second foremost thing, almost all the institutions are not doing probing questions. That question may arise the interest towards the science or towards the some sort of subject. Why this is looking like blue? My saree is looking like blue, why it is looking like blue? Something like that. And also the child and teacher as self-confident. Actually, all the teachers are so nice, but they can't perform well because they are not confident. They are having some sort of phobia. And the students also in the same scenario. So the next step we have to do the low cost, no cost material. We have to the students has to prepare some sort of exhibits, and then they will get a confidence. Yes, we can do, we can learn. And the teachers also, we have to give the material which is curricularly mapped, already mapped. Those content only we have to supply, then the teachers will get some sort of confidence. Afterwards, the teachers has to prepare themselves the curriculum mapped content, that teaching learning material themselves only. And after that, experimentation with the joy mapped curriculum. Here, one more thing I want to tell, establishment of STEM labs. Actually, we are going to establish STEAM labs. That means the curricularly mapped content must be there in the STEM labs, and afterwards, establishment of do-it-yourself and student kit and everything, so many steps I had given. Here you can observe only one thing, grabbing the attention of the, just he has to come to the school. After that, he has to become confident, and afterwards, we have to make the children to expose the experiential learning, which was mapped to the curriculum. Afterwards, to the curriculum experimentation with the various of parameters leading a child scientist. After that, ATL labs and some more technology and engineering. Thereby, we are preparing some entrepreneurs. That's what I want to give the information. Here also some resources required. Yes, attracting the students towards the school. How to do that? How to pool the resources? From where we have to pool the resources? And what are the levels we have to establish in the STEM labs also? Actually, these are the things. And this is the thing what I had told about the simulations training. And here you can see a poster with all the teacher supportive material at one place. That's what I want to give, the STEM lab integrated, not the STEM lab or ATL lab, anything. We have to just integrate with the calendar. Just prepare an integrated calendar and integrate and also prepare the activities of a year-wise calendar, and that was mapped to the school timetable. Then only everything will be possible. Okay, and this is the STEM lab, what actually, and here also ATL lab already, actually we, in the hub and spoke model, actually we had done all these, we established all these labs and ATL task force, and also we mapped the nearby education institutions towards the ATL lab, and the science curiosity programs what we conducted, And also these are all the programs conducted as piloted and everything, and the impact analysis also actually we analyze. This is the thing what actually only for the 12 minutes I can't give the total information. Only one thing I want to tell you. STEAM, science and maths, just okay. First of all, make the child to come to the school. After that, stipulated curriculum. We have to give the stipulated curriculum in a joyful way. After that, we have to improvise the techniques to enrich the critical thinking and everything. After that, that child has to has to go, and we have to take the higher education institution support and that vocational skills and everything as we can make the student as an entrepreneur. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. I think you have lot to cover, but then due to restriction of time, we have to wind up now. Now we'll open up to the audience. The biggest takeaway that we want to go as speakers is we want to involve many of you, many more institutions to come together so that we could make it a much larger, much more effective, much more outreach in terms of a national program. So with this point of view, we would like to take some questions. Yes, sir. We'll start with. Please also introduce yourself so that we will note and we'll reach back to you. Can you just hand over a mic to them?
Thank you very much.
Sir, you have one more?
Myself, Tankeshwar Kumar, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Haryana. My concern is about enhancing GER. You know, if I look at the situations in the government universities, I am really worried. So that's why I raised my hand. I am really worried because if I look at the situation few years back, the number of candidates who applied for were certainly higher, 3 times, 4 times. Now we get, if we have 2.5 lakhs of seats, we may get only 1.25 lakhs candidates for the application. So that is the situation as on even if on today, because we said that we have the CUET UG started, it will starting from maybe day after tomorrow as per the SMART. But you know, if we look at all the student has already gone to somewhere, where when we are going to start the admissions, where we will have the GER. So we should make a survey that what are the situation in all the government universities, how many number of students are doing that they are candidates. So that has reduced significantly within the 3-4 years. I was just worried whether it is a result of the Vidya, Shakti, or the online education, or the private education which runs parallel, where all the admissions has already taken place. Thank you very much.
So I think this question is about, this session is about improving GER, and your concern is that you are not getting enough number of candidates in the central universities. Am I correct? You are getting more candidates. All India, right?
Yeah,
Your all India concern is that you
I know about I may be getting I have enough students.
No. Your all India concern is that you are not getting more students to come into higher education, to the state universities, right? So this is the main reason is that we are at even AP, Tamil Nadu, we have around 50. AP is 34%. That means out of 100, 66 students, kids, are not coming to higher education. And that's precisely what we are trying to address. We are also seeing this downward trend in our MTech admissions at IITs, where the number of people who are writing gates, it is going down. So this concern is because that we must give them a very clear roadmap, what is ahead, and that is very, very important. And that is precisely what we intend to do through these programs like Vidya Shakti, where we interact with the parents, we interact with the kids and give them the confidence that higher education is important, higher education must be taken up so that they come to this stage, and they start applying to your state university. So that's a very important thing. So,
the university or the colleges should be given freedom to admit their own students.
So, okay, I don't know, right? So we do have, for example, IITs are autonomous, but we do admit through a common examination. So there must be a standard platform on which the students are judged, and that is very, very important from the student. Why we say that you need to write GATE or JEE mains, whether you are prepared or not, just that you normalize yourself. Number of kids that are passing that year, how are you, where are you standing? This is also very important as a feedback. Rather than saying about autonomy and other things, these examinations basically, essentially is a very good feedback back to the student that how do they stand in a national scenario. I think we should also start thinking in that direction.
As an addendum to that, for the state universities, we have also done something because based on our internal surveys, the capacity building for the faculty, that is one of the reasons why many people were not joining. So when we interviewed some of the people, why you didn't choose this college? So we have been doing a continuous level of faculty development program in whatever field possible, because equipping the teachers with the current trend is also very important as equipping the students. So this continuous faculty development program that we have been doing through Vidya Shakti also.
Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm Dhananjay Singh, Member Secretary, ICSSR, and congratulations on this initiative with Vidya Shakti. I have a pinpointed question, which is this: that considering the diversity of the locale and diversity of students of covering Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, as well as to Sri Lanka, do you have any data on the experiences of the learners as such, challenges as they face, of course? In terms of, if at all, what forms of different digital divide did you experience, and if this data can be used for instance, use AI, since you at IIT, predictive AI, for instance, in taking this forward. So obviously it's an excellent initiative, but as you move on, I mean, in what way do you use the data based on the experiential learning and therefore, transform it in terms of by using technology further in predictive AI, and that could be useful for much more kind of larger group of students as you go along.
Absolutely, Dhananjay, and this is extremely important when we scale the program. I'll request first Himanshu and Nagarajan to tell what sort of data analytics we have started. It's the early days that we are 2 years into the program, but lot more data is getting into the system, and of course we use AI, but lot more of common sense here also. So I'd like you to share, both of you to share on what you have done with the data.
Thanks for asking that. Initially we have been doing only the assessments and then seeing the assessments on their subjects. But after 6 months, the gyan that we got is, it is not the problem with their MCQ level in terms of answering. They always have a problem in the languages. So because the school exams are descriptive, and we have been taking about MCQs, NEP also implementing MCQs in a shorter level, but when they try to write the descriptive answers, they have a problem in languages. So that gyan came to us. So for that improving that gyan, there is a Nipun, everything is going on. But over and above, there is a current project that is going on in IIT Madras in terms of a read bot. It will show a picture, you read whether you read it correctly or not. So reading bot of words, vowels, and then sentences, that is being developed. And then second thing is comprehension. Of course, through online, I will not be able to do a lot more on writing. But second thing is comprehension, that probably in another 3 to 4 months, we will be able to launch a beta on that. There, AI is extremely used because the accent, the dialect, everything is completely different. So this is being used. Because reading and comprehending is the topmost hurdles in terms of descriptive answers for them, so that we are in that direction. So that will be probably, stay tuned, in another 3 to 4 months we'll be rolling out that project.
Himanshu.
Thank you, sir. As regarding the program and how come it's using the artificial intelligence platforms to further leverage on its success, I'd like to comment on how at the district level we are using that data to monitor better the school's performance. For example, imagine like these classes take place after the school hours. So if, for example, there are 60 students in a class, and of them just the 20 attend after the school hours these classes. So there's this inherent belief that we have that those 20 students are more serious about their education and their studies than those rest of the 40 students. So now we have the data of the 40 students where we have to intervene more, and we have to reach out to their parents, we have to reach out to their families, which in general also helps with their school education beyond just the Vidya Shakti program. So that's how we are using the school the data of that we get out of this program regarding this regular attendance, as well as we also compare it, the attendance that we get from the coordinators of this program with the data that is fed by the school regarding their attendance. We just compare it. Are there any anomalies that they have? Maybe some or the other data is fraudulent. Like, so we can just check out whether there are certain anomalies and work on it. And I think commenting on language barriers, I think Nagarajanji would be the better person.
See, since we are teaching in mother tongue, we are able to see more students participating. In fact, what we are hearing from the parents as a feedback is now kids are talking to us. So that is the biggest thing that has an encouragement, because kids talking to the parents, what is happening in the class, what they saw, and then they are trying to do something like Dr. Aruna mentioned low cost, which matchsticks, which other things, toys, what they can do in the home as a simple science experiment. That itself is is a long way. But since we are going through the mother tongue route and then giving local examples, because books may be talking about English examples, we have to give Indic examples. When we are talking about Tamil Nadu, we have to talk about the native trees in Tamil Nadu as example. We have to talk about the native trees and fruits of Uttar Pradesh as an example. So that is again giving a lot more inroads and confidence to the students.
Yes, madam.
Namaskar, I am Professor Geeta Bhatt from University of Delhi, and I must say that a very wonderful initiative, Vidya Shakti. My question was related to the GER with the gender aspect, because a large number of reports which have, whether it is the ACER report or other reports, they reflect upon this, that the girl students in primary and in higher education, a large number of them, because of social economic reasons, are not able to take up the STEM programs or courses. So with the initiative which Vidya Shakti has taken, what has been your response and your experience in terms of overcoming the gender aspect in STEM at school level?
So, yeah, just before Nagarajan actually starts, Himanshu is best person. I think we see lot more girls actually started coming to school, but he will validate it. He's on the field. But today, madam, we believe that that's why we very carefully said digital Didi, not digital Dada. Okay, so that's very important. We want a lady to basically be hand-holding and coordinating this. Number one. Number two is what Rajendra can basically address. The moment the woman actually gets empowered, she gets the confidence, the child sees the woman, the girl child sees the woman, her mother or her aunt getting employment there, and say something like 5,000 rupees a month in a village, we can live a very peaceful life. That's a very big empowerment. And that is something which is also encouraging more girls to come. But of course, everything is in the detail. Devil is in the detail, and I request Himanshu to give an impression about gender there. It's a very important point. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah.
I also had the same question, and which I wanted to figure out of my own thoughts, and I just went to the data, and what we figured out that first this digital Didi program, that the coordinators that we have hired for this program are based out of the women in the self-help groups of the village itself. And when a girl looks at her own mother or her aunt or her neighboring auntie learning through digital platforms, and through in that process getting a job as well, she gets motivated. And the data which we have in our composite schools are In Uttar Pradesh, we call class 8, 6 to 8 schools. So in those composite schools, 354 composite schools that we have in Varanasi, 48% are girls, 52% are boys. But in these classes, over 60% there's girls attendance. So I believe the long-term impact that this have in the gross GAR, especially of girls, will be seen in future. We cannot comment on it now, but just the fact that how that girls are attending these classes more often, and they are more regular to these classes, and in general their attendance is much higher than the boys, reflects on the performance and how well this program has been able to make girls realize the value of STEM, and there has been able to leverage on their interest in this field. Thank you.
Rajendra? Yeah.
When we were taking up this software testing program in the rural areas, 80% of them are women. And when a woman started coming for learning the testing, the whole family, the mother-in-law was taking care of the kids, the husband was coming and dropping her. There is a lot of encouragement for the women to come and learn here. We have seen that, and out of the three persons who were placed, 2 are women who are earning now 20,000 per month from their deep villages. That's it.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Thanks for the.
Yeah, it's there.
Thanks for the opportunity. I wish to draw the attention of the House to the submerged or hidden part of the iceberg. The hidden part of the iceberg, and that is the state universities and colleges. Because we see that in many of the states, the state universities and colleges in the STEM departments, the teaching is being done by contractual faculty, contractual lecturers. So there, obviously, when you mentioned that the youth population is majorly located in the rural areas, and there in the remote areas, when the universities and colleges are not offering quality education for STEM, obviously the burden falls in some of the select institutions in the bigger or metro cities, or some universities like Banaras Hindu University, where I had the privilege of teaching for last 4 decades. So the number is increasing on some select institutions. The pressure is increasing on them, whereas the base, larger base, where we should have had a solid, improvement, that's what's happening. And as far as I am aware, probably several of the states are not on board for NEP. And that is also one cause of concern we need to pay attention to. So I think we have to see that. I think one of the Science Congresses, Prime Minister also emphasized the need of empowering the education, higher education in the state universities. Although at present I'm at ISER Mohali, but I have seen the pain in many of the state universities and colleges, and therefore I'm bringing it to your attention. Thank you.
Sure. So I don't see a question here, but the point here is, Madam, can you give it? Yeah. 1 minute, Madam, please give it a second.
Just as a clarification to what this session is about. I mean, throughout our career, I was Secretary Education in 2010. The same problem that has been told now, that you don't have teachers in schools. Okay, you have single teacher schools. Are we going to listen to these problems on and forth, or are we going to address that issue? This is one solution that has been given to us. If you want to join it, you need to join it. But how do you join it is what this session is about. You want to keep complaining about that these state universities don't have faculty. Those are things that are going to happen gradually, will happen. Each individual state government will take action on it. But you as an institution, are you going to wait till everything is perfect and then you sit back and say that I'll take that student? No. You have to act, and you have to act now to see that the student who doesn't have that opportunity of a teacher gets that opportunity to learn science. So this is a small endeavor that is being done. It is being completely done by a voluntary effort. We just want you and urge you to join this type of a sincere effort. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen there. Sir, can you just get up, please, so that they reach you?
Thank you, Professor. I am Dr. Arun Verma. I am Associate Professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Jammu. My question is not question, basically, a kind of suggestions. When I was in Jaipur, I used to go with my student to the Kachi Bastis to teach a student, and one of his student crossed the JE. I am coming to the labor class basically. My concern is labor class, construction workers, children's. So need to, a mission mode type of thing is required. The effort need to put to enroll them in a, formal education, certification type thing, so that their betterment in their career can happen. And if required, we can have a volunteer for that. So mission mode, because the government scheme must reach to the bottom.
Correct.
Thank you.
So I think Imanshu will have an answer for this. You are just starting a school for children of laborers, right? So, and there we will go and intervene. So Imanshu, can you just tell about your?
As you rightly commented, even with them, in multiple institutions, there are such platforms where they offer students an opportunity to reach out to the labor class, to reach out to the students of the labor class and poor communities, to teach them, to educate them, and multiple such inspiring stories come out to them. I think Vidya Shakti is just an institutional way to build on it. We cannot, as district administration or as responsible authorities, we cannot be certain whether every single child requiring such support is getting such support or not. The best way to do it is make sure every government school has such platforms, because the government schools are available in all wards, in all gram panchayats. Any students that want to learn can go to that school. So we are certain that any student that requires a support has that support. Maybe that student doesn't want to go or wants to go, but he's not missed out of that opportunity. That's the, as Nagarajanji had rightly started with, that if education cannot go to the child, that as Vivekanand had mentioned. So this is just Vidya Shakti is an institutional way to build on it. And as UP government का जो initiative है हमारा, one is Abhyuday classes and the second is Atal Avasi Vidyalaya. So these two initiatives are dedicated towards the labor class children that make sure that they get the best of the facilities. These initiatives are built on the very concept that we have to break that vicious cycle of poverty, where we strike right at the important and relevant point of building on a good platform for education of that child, कि उसके बाद कोई और चीज़ की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़े, एक ऐसा environment बच्चे को दें हम कि उसकी हर ज़रूरत हम पूरी कर रहे हैं उस facility के अंदर, अटल आवासीय विद्यालय के अंदर. There are swimming pools, there are best of the teachers, there are playgrounds, there are smart classes in every classroom available, libraries हैं, science labs हैं. So those schools are built on residential academies हैं और किसी भी हमारे केंद्रीय विद्यालय, नवोदय विद्यालय से भी अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ वहाँ पर बिल्ड की गई हैं. तो आई थिंक BOCW के जो फंड्स होते हैं स्टेट्स के अंदर कहीं यूज़ नहीं होते हैं. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, यूपी गवर्नमेंट हैज़ यूज्ड these funds for building a great infrastructure. So I think this certain practice could be replicated in other states because BOCW funds are available in all the states. Thank you.
Madam.
Yeah. Good afternoon. And first of all, I stand here to congratulate your team, because Vidya Shakti is something which I was actually looking forward to have something to institutionalize to reach the rural areas. I am from SNDT, and SNDT, fortunately, SNDT Women's University in headquarters in Mumbai. However, we have a facility to mandate to reach out in all states of India. In this case, through our distance education center, what we proposed initially, that we would try to reach the deeper areas of Bharat and then try to reach as many women as possible. I find this is something which we can collaborate with you and try to understand what exactly you are doing, because we have got our plans for higher education, of course, and that too through distance education center of ours. Then how can we do it with you so that we accelerate it and make it possible to reach as many women as possible in rural areas? That's what I stood here to make my point very clear, so that we can, after the session sometimes today, we would be able to meet and have a detailed session later on sometimes to understand what exactly, how can we take it to further.
Thank you, madam. We are very, very strong on closure, so that you have offered, we'll never leave you. Sunilji.
So let me thank Professor Kamakoti and Nagarajan for such a wonderful initiative. I saw it last time in Akhil Bharatiya, this Shiksha Samagam in Bharat Mandapam. That time I told Professor Nagarajan that we should not be dealing in few hundred or thousand, we should take it to lakhs, because the country needs many more Vidya Shakti Kendras. Let me just give you a background. Like, we all have reached to this position in different capacity. The major transformation in all of us, and most of us at least, has come when we got a good teacher or a good institution. So these two has made our life completely different from our peers who could not reach to these positions or these, capacities. So what I see, Vidya Shakti addresses both. It has the institution behind like IIT Madras, and it provides a digital Didi or a teacher which knows more than and at least motivated enough to guide the student to get interested in STEM education. Now I see there is a huge problem in scalability, because we think IIT Madras has started and therefore it becomes only IIT Madras baby. Other institutions may not or need not replicate it, and therefore they try to rediscover something new. I urge all the institutions at least to use this framework and take it to whole of the country wherever they are located in. Second point I see, we all are dealing with the higher education institutions which are actually island of excellence. Surrounding the institutions we see very poor school education. Children with hardly any education, and many of them may not have any STEM education. So what I see, you are looking for resource person. Actually the whole cost of Vidya Shakti comes on that only, because the whole technology now, since it has been done, it hardly has a cost. But the cost comes actually when you engage a Didi on which you spend per month certain cost. I see every higher education institution, whoever has a science or engineering faculty, their students and their faculty, can't they be the resource person in the schools or the common service center, wherever you are running this Vidya Shakti Kendra, as a resource person, and give time for these school students to learn STEM. I see we have actually experienced this in our institution where I did my graduation. And a student used to volunteer actually. There was lot more interest right from the first year in which they enter the higher education institutions. And I think Himanshu mentioned that we all look forward to do something for the society. So can't we do these higher education institutions as students to get involved in it? And as you have rightly said, if we could build the capacity of teachers, there will be huge benefit, and this Vidya Shakti centers can be increased in numbers, and every higher education institutions can do that. I think IIT Madras should make this template for all other institutions to accept, those who are willing to do that, and I think the ministry will certainly make it as one of the initiative to replicate it for whole of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we will certainly, we are very open, and this is the objective of,
Sir,
this is the objective of this particular session itself. At the outset, I have to thank the ministry for giving us such one dedicated session for this, and I am sure we will see many more institutions participating, and this framework is always open and it will become more open. Right?
Your point, sir. Thanks for you for giving the jnana to us in terms of not to think small numbers, because whatever Vidya Shakti has done now is only 500 villages. In another 15 days, another 500 villages, 1,000. This is minuscule compared to 7 lakh villages we have. So we cannot just be proud of what we have done now. So we are very humble now. Now, the way we have been currently working is also through so many NGOs like Akhil, Sevalaya, Already we are working with different NGOs. Now we will formalize with most of the typical hub and spoke model to have nodal areas, so that I always feel if NIT Warangal is there, they will feel it is my place. NIT Trichy is there, it is my place. That feel gives more trust than anything else, more than money. So thanks for suggesting, sir. We look forward to work on that.
Sir?
Professor Kamkoti, your session inspired me to talk. You know, Vidya Shakti, wonderful initiation. Since I am Kattivani Vice Chancellor, Central Tribal University of Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
Earlier, I was in Amarkantak, where girl students from tribal area tried to enter into STEM education. It was a very hard task. Here also, our university is a science-focused university, chemistry, botany, such departments. So students from tribal community, special students, first generation learners of all castes and religion, they are, working hard, but they are unable to cope up with English or other subjects too. So I love to be part of this Vidya Shakti. Anyhow, I will talk to you. Thank you very much. I congratulate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll certainly be in touch with you. Yes, madam.
On hearing all this, just I want to add one more point. Just as sir asked to give a big number to make a big number, and sir also told regarding the tribal community and everything. Just I am also asking two more points regarding Vidya Shakti, just two submissions before you, sir. The twinning of higher education institutions from remote area and the urban area institutions, the twinning of institutions may be done as a moderator, as a Vidya Shakti, as a moderator. The first submission. It may be some submissions, sir, whether it is possible or not in the ground level reality, you may take the decision. And the second one, in the twinning of schools and the higher education institutions in the same remote area. This is the second more point. And the third one, the students has to take the problems which are in their surroundings and they have to tinker the solutions to the problems, and they have to themselves, they have to go to the society and they have to give the solutions. Definitely like that, that sanitary napkins. One girl, she won in the National Inspire exhibition regarding the safe and no cost sanitary napkins. All the villages, they in the same village, they adopted the same sanitary napkins. They themselves, they prepared something like that. That's what the students will give the solutions to the problems to their local environment. Definitely the community will attach it to that school. These 3 points I want to put before you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you very much. I think adopting a village, actually adopting multiple villages by educational institution, which we call as twinning, is actually happening in some sense. I could give an example of IIT Madras, where we have now at least 20-30 villages, and we are already seeing people joining our BS data science program right from there. So, and we now, I'm very proud to tell you, out of 30,000 students who are on our online program, we have 5,000 who are below poverty line and from villages, and many of them from government schools. So this is one sort of adoption which every IIT can do. The second thing is, we now, in addition to RIC, we have started something called Rural Technology Centers, where we look at this local problem and local solutions. The government also has something called the RTBA, Rural Technology Based Business Incubators. It's under the PSA's office. Many IITs actually hold this. So Rural Technology Centers, we have just started 5 of them from IIT Madras. It's topic for ABSS 2025. Okay, thank you very much. Anything?
Submission, sir. That
one minute. Thank you. Sorry?
You could just clarify how you're giving credits to the volunteerism that students do for such type of activity.
Yeah.
In the terms of how you've done it for PMRF.
Yes.
How can institutions innovate on that, encourage students to do something on this would be good.
So one of the there is a Prime Minister Research Fellow which is offered across 50 plus institutions. One of the conditions for being a PMRF is that the student who is a Prime Minister Research Fellow must do something for the society, not their institution but outside institution. They'll go and teach, they can go and do some tutorials. It can be schools, it can be colleges. So, two things that we have enabled nationwide. These students can be part of our Swayam portal where they can conduct tutorials on the Swayam. There are a lot of live tutorials that are happening. We offer close to more than 3,000 courses every semester. So, these people actually teach tutorials there. The second thing is they are also part of Vidya Shakti where if they are interested in school education, of course we do a very careful selection. They can go and teach in their mother tongue and they need to do something like 8 hours a semester and that into some 3,000 PMRF is something like 24,000 solid PhD hours that we have. And that is something which many institutions can capitalize on. And in addition, this also gives a touch to the ground reality for the students, right? So they all come to a good institution, they see an institution, but what is ground reality? Many students actually realize that. And so their social inclination, as Nagarajan pointed out, one part is education, but another part is character building. I think this plays a very important role in their character building. By them actually getting and touching the ground reality, they are very thankful to God that they are seeing a bigger institution, and that brings in a lot of humility to these students. I think it's a very well thought out program. So all institutions here, ISER, who are all doing this, having good numbers of PMRF can use this and assign the credits back to the volunteers. Thank you. I think with this, we'll wind up. I think we are on time, 2 minutes behind schedule.
Thank you, Professor Kamakoti and all the fellow panelists, and thank you, Secretary Higher Education, Additional Secretary. And we have heard about a very innovative and you can say genuinely moving the needle kind of an initiative, and as Secretary Higher Education highlighted, this is also a call to join. So I would request that each one of you do find time with any of the panelists, Professor Nagarajan, Professor Kamakoti, and visit IIT Delhi and few of these centers in Varanasi. And we are all trying to see how these kind of, as Secretary Sir said, we cannot wait for things to change. We have to make it happen at our own level, at our own capacities. And I really look forward to any support or any kind of linkage or collaboration that can happen through this network. With this, I would like to thank you, and thank you, Professor Kamakoti, for always holding the time on this. Like a movie said that 2 minute ka profit karke diya. So you have given that 2 minutes of profit also. Thank you.